On this episode of the Best of Bias podcast, you got your boy. He's back. He's back. I know. Unexpected little gap in the middle. We back. We back. It's good. It's in good faith though. It's for a good reason that we missed last week. I told y'all. Maybe I told y'all at the end of the last episode I might be off for a week, but we back now. It was all good fun celebration for Damo and Shani's wedding coming up. We're celebrating them. It was a great time to talk more about it inside the podcast. Got a lot to talk about, some sports, some pop culture, some cinema corner. This is episode 200. You feel me? It's episode 200. So I got some stuff to talk to y'all about, a little episode here. We back. I know, again, there was a gap last week. Y'all was like, where is he at? Where is he at? But Vegas was, ooh, coming off of Cabo, going straight to Vegas. I've had a lot of time to get this party out of my system. We got the wedding coming up still, but there's a lot to talk about. But no more long talking. It's time for the podcast. Where that theme song at? It's right here. Happy Friday. Got that podcast out on time this week. We off to a good start. Where that podcast theme song at, man? Where is that?
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
What's up, everybody? It's the best of bias, and we back. It's a Friday. We here. I know y'all missed me. I know y'all missed us, aka they missed us, dog. I know. We didn't leave them nothing to chew on last week. They was waiting probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like, where the party at? But we here with many stories to tell, but I'm not gonna give y'all too much. Hey, we back over the weekend. We were celebrating Damon and Shahani. They're getting married this month, so we were at the bachelor party, turning up with a couple of good guys. I really just want to shout them out. Shout out their love, their union is, what I'm saying. The homie Damo, been friends, really good friends for a long, long time. Rocking since elementary, since high school. Everyday type shit. We was riding around Sunnyvale, getting in all kinds of trouble, jumping over fences into abandoned properties, playing tag at gas stations, dodgeball, capture the flag. We was doing it all, man. Playing sports, running around, doing all the new dances at all the school dances and at the homecomings and the proms and stuff. Many, many memories, and I'm happy Shani has come into your life and turned you into the man you are today. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you guys' relationship. It's been a long time coming. I look at you guys' relationship and I see inspiration for mine. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a relationship with my girl for a long time, and seeing how he's handled it and developed into and evolved into a man, from the homie I used to know, and again, rummage around abandoned complexes trying to find a bum or something to mess with. Man, we've grown up. It's been a long time. I'm happy for you again. I can't even put into words how proud I am of you, man. It's a big step. You and Matt, you know what I'm saying? We really tied the knot and are at that level, man. We got some work to do, fellas, right? You know what I'm saying? I know y'all out there listening to the rest of the guys. But again, this weekend was crazy in Vegas, man. Did everything we possibly could do. We freaking every night went to like a club and got a table at the club. Casa Amigos and tequila was like my best friend. Thursday night, I drank way too much Red Bull. I don't know what was going on or what influenced me to do so, but I should have been sponsored by Red Bull this weekend. That's kind of nuts. But Thursday night was great. Just warm up, just checking out Omnia with the party pass. If you go to Vegas, well, it's a little different now, but you got to do it the party pass way. Go to get into all the clubs, you know what I'm saying? Get an entry free and then get a table, do your thing. I don't know how much money you trying to spend. Don't be like us because we's out there spending way too much money. You have to do Lavo party brunch as well. Shout out Lavo party brunch. I forgot exactly what hotel it's in, but it is nuts. It's like a bunch of brunch food, and then at a certain point, they just bring down the shades, push the tables to the middle, and everybody starts dancing like a nightclub. Yeah, you could be in there all day if you really want to. Starting at noon, it doesn't close until about till about 5, so you could be in there chilling. You be forgetting what time of day it is, then you can just mosey into another club. That's what makes Vegas so dangerous. But it was very fun, man. Pool parties, Tao. The homie actually, I think his name is Brandon. He hooked us up quite well with all the tables and stuff and access to close and good bar spots and just showing us a good time every place we went. So shout out him. I think his name was Brandon for sure. And then shout out all the homies that we saw out there: Matt, Paul, Derek, Donnie. Shout out MeCam. I got to talk a little bit about that at the end when I start telling you guys about stuff you should check out. MeCam is a dope ass app out there. You know what I'm saying? You know how you can make personalized stickers to send your group chats and stuff like that, and send messages and many more things. I'll explain that a little bit more, but check that out. Download that wherever you find your favorite apps at. MeCam. Shout out to Donnie, Dave, Mike again, Dijon, Matt. Who else was there? Vic, Chemo. Um, Shoot, if I forgot your name, didn't say it. I think that's pretty much every Anthony, of course. Can't forget Anthony. Everybody that was there. Paul, you know what I'm saying? We had a great time. Too many more. The wedding's going to be a zoo. Respectfully, though, respectfully, because it's all about love and matrimony and peacefulness. Peacefulness is not the bachelor party. We got the families there and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? It's just fun. I'm just happy that got to experience that. Hang out with the boys, and just to know that there's still a wedding and a bigger celebration that brings everybody to the party, and to look forward to that too. I'm very excited for that. So I'm happy to celebrate love, but enough with the wishy-washy stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit more when it gets closer to the wedding. But again, shout out Damon and Shahani. Love y'all, and congratulations on the matrimonials. And I cannot wait to be attending and being a part of the wedding. I thank y'all for that, for letting me be a part of that day too. So bless ups to that for sure. But that aside, again, I apologize for not having a pod last week, but a lot of stuff happened in sports. A lot of stuff happened in pop culture. I'm going to talk a little bit more so on the sports side because we have free agency right now, and we're in the crux of, playoff positioning for the NBA. So I'll talk a little about that. But first, we have to talk about NFL free agency, and I'm going to talk about the Bucks a little bit because we smashing in free agency, bro. You would think, smashing, you didn't really sign nobody new. You just kept all of your same players. But that's I think that's smashing. A lot of teams during the free agency period are losing a lot of their good players, and they're trying to get players to replace them. But I feel like in football, it's all about the continuity. And if you don't have that continuity, you have to try to bring something new in and try to make it work right away. And I feel like in football, that's tough for it to happen, for people just to get in right away and for everything to click and for you just to get like automatic return on investment. You know what I mean? The Buccaneers in general, we re-signed Mike Evans. Everybody thought he was going to go to another team. We re-signed Baker Mayfield. Everybody thought he was going to go to a different team for both team-friendly contracts. Baker Mayfield finally got his $100 million contract. It's a 3-year contract, $53 million guaranteed, and it's team-friendly for this year to help sign everybody back. Mike Evans did as well, signed 2-year deal. He's 30 now. It'll take him into his year 32 of age year. Which I think is worth it. He doesn't seem like he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. We can get a good 4 out of him before he retires a Buck, which was what we wanted to do in general. We wanted him to retire a Buccaneer, and that's what happened. I think we signed him in, and he's going to be locked in. And if we get more money, as we get more money in the next couple of years, we'll keep signing them to 1 prove-a-year deals until he actually wants to retire. That, as well as signing Levante David, those team-friendly deals from Baker Mayfield, and Mike Evans let us sign Levante David back. We franchise tagged Antoine Winfield Jr., which will probably get a deal done before he actually has to sign the franchise tag by June 1st. We'll probably get a deal made with him. We signed back the hitter, Jordan Whitehead, which we should have never let go after we won the Super Bowl. He got away and was able to go to the Jets for a while. And last year at the Jets, he had like 3 interceptions in the first game. He was one of the safeties with the most tackles made in the run defense. And he was a natural fit next to Antoine Winfield Jr. To have him back, that's amazing. We also re-signed, who else did we re-sign? That was a big deal. We re-signed one of our kicker, of course, McLaughlin. Chase McLaughlin. Without him last year, we would have never made the playoffs because when we couldn't score touchdowns, he would be knocking shit down. Like towards the end of the year, I think it was 7 of 8 from with 50-yard field goals and 50-yard plus. And actually, it was cash on Prize Picks too. So if you got him in Prize Picks, put him in your slips every week. He always cashed for you. Chase Edmonds to back up Rachaad White. Everybody thought we were going to sign one of those big time running backs that were out there, but Chase Edmonds is a good change of pace back to play behind Rachaad White if he's not injured. He's mostly injured. He's been injured for most of his career, which made him end up not being on the Cardinals, in which we signed him a couple of years, and he's been kind of hurt for a couple of years. Him and Giovanni Bernard. We signed him to be backups to our starting running backs, Leonard Fournette when it was Leonard Fournette, and to Rachaad White when it's Rachaad White now. But I think Chase Edmonds, if he has a full year, actually fully healthy, that he can get it done and he'll be all right. I'm just interested to see who we might sign to the draft now, knowing that we filled so many of our holes, signing our old players back and picking up Jordan Whitehead, I think is going to start at our strong safety position. So I don't know who we're going to draft. I want to draft Powers Jones, of course, from Oregon, if we can get him at center to replace Jensen. But if not, I can't, put aside what I saw from Chop Jones last year. I mean, last year in the combine. 4.44 speed at a defensive end, looking like Micah Parsons coming out of Penn State. So who could turn that down? But I kind of do want to grab that lineman and secure that line to have Baker Mayfield do whatever he wants to do as far as, getting the ball out. And I actually want to grab some more weapons. So I think maybe offensive line, maybe like a edge rusher second round or a corner. We have 2 third-rounders. So maybe in the third round, we can get either, if we don't get that edge rusher in the second round, maybe we can get a edge rusher in the third or get a corner in the third to go with like either a receiver or the best weapon we can find, tight end, that's still on the board. That would be kind of the best draft we can get. We have 2 third-round picks after trading Carlton Davis to the Lions. So I think with 4 picks in the first 3 rounds, I think we can make something happen as far as filling the holes we need to fill on top of signing the players we signed back. Sad to see Devin White go to the Eagles. I thought we would be able to work it out and him come back on a cheap deal and actually be able to stay in Tampa, because I was really, after him running a 4.4 in the combine, just how he was, his personality in Tampa after winning a Super Bowl, I thought Devin White would be able to stay. But seeing him sign for a 1-year deal in Philly, gives him that prove it deal, make sure he can do what he, has to do in that defense. That defense is going to be pretty good, I feel like, up front 7-wise. On Philadelphia, so that'll help him out a lot. Try to get that money in that second contract. But yeah, that's my Buccaneers spill. I know a lot of people are out there besides Dijon, maybe Russ, if you're listening, are Buccaneers fans. So let me get off my high horse and talk about some of these other free agency signings. Saquon Barkley went to the Eagles. Kirk Cousins went to the Falcons, which people think that Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons makes them like automatic Super Bowl contenders. I don't see that. He's coming off of ACL and he's like, 36, 34 years old. I don't see the correlation. If you're thinking that can just happen by him coming off ACL, why can't Aaron Rodgers and why aren't the Jets the favorites to win the Super Bowl with him coming off his ACL? Like, I don't know. Are the Jets way worse? I don't think the Jets are that much worse than the Falcons without with the addition of Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? So I don't really understand why they think. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to steal people's money and get people to bet the Atlanta Falcons in Vegas. That money is going. Yeah, don't bet that. I'm telling you right now. Bet the Buccaneers in NFC South, because Kirk Cousins ain't gonna do shit. We beat Kirk Cousins this year. We made Kirk Cousins off that. You like that video? He said that after beating the Buccaneers, coming back and beating the Buccaneers. So he thinks he's hot shit, but he's only had like what, 1-2 playoff wins? Come on now. I don't get it. Why is he the savior in the ATL? I don't get it. Hold on a second. Woo! That was that Red Bull. Josh Jacobs went to Green Bay. We had Minnesota. Aaron Jones went to Minnesota. Brian Burns to New York Giants from the Carolina Panthers. Why they would trade him, I don't really understand. Maybe they just didn't want to pay him. I don't know. Tony Pollard went to Tennessee. Joe Mixon, he went to the Texans. The Texans are actually loading up over there. Let's see. Gabe Davis went to Jacksonville. Christian Wilkins went to Las Vegas. Derrick Henry went to Baltimore to be matched to go with Lamar Jackson in that running game. That's gonna be crazy. That run option is gonna be nuts. If you don't hand it to the Thunder and Derrick Henry, the Lightning, and Lamar Jackson can keep it, or you can throw it to a quick pass to Zay Flowers. Ooh, that's gonna be dangerous. And that defense is already raw. Um, yeah, it's gonna be nuts. They lost Patrick Queen, but they did sign somebody else on that defense. I forgot who they signed to their defense, but fuck. I should know, but I forgot. Patrick Queen went to Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson went to Pittsburgh. So it's gonna be crazy. Deontay Johnson got traded from Pittsburgh to the Panthers. I just got word and saw that Keenan Allen got traded to the Bears. So the Bears now have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and I think their running back is DeAndre Swift now. So we're gonna see if they actually go for Caleb Williams or they're gonna stay with Justin Fields because they're loaded up with weapons now on offense. So if they keep Justin Fields, maybe that'll be beneficial to them to trade down from that number one pick and maybe give it to a quarterback needy team and keep stacking up and loading up and giving Justin Fields more and more and more defensive players, offensive linemen. Um, he's still young and people giving up on him, man. And I think that doubt that everybody has in him right now is in the benefit of the Bears because maybe once he does start to prove it, you don't have to give him that super contract right away. He is already close to that fifth year, if not at that fifth year option. They didn't give it to him, so I think they have this year to see if he can prove it. Give him big money next year, but not super big money. That Baker Mayfield type of money, and it can be team friendly so that they can continue to add pieces and actually he can continue to prove it and then eventually get big money. But I think it's in the Bears' best interest to keep Justin Fields, especially seeing what Caleb Williams and all that drama that he's gonna come out with. You know what I mean? So I think it's better you maybe trade that pick to maybe the Patriots or somebody else that are maybe the Commanders take him because they don't really have a quarterback. They just signed Marcus Mariota, but they didn't sign anybody big. So they may be, they may be the ones getting him. So who knows? But that's it for free agency as of now. But there's more to come, I'm sure. The Cowboys haven't made any moves. The 49ers haven't really made any moves. They just signed Eric Kendricks, I believe. Yeah, so I don't really. Yeah, so I don't think the really big players have made any moves yet. Besides the Eagles, everybody else are kind of like the mid-tier teams that are making the moves. The Packers were a playoff team, and them getting Josh Jacobs was something, but I feel like replacing him with Aaron Jones isn't too much of a take him over the top piece. I know the Commanders went and signed hella people though. They had a lot of cap space, and they pretty much signed a whole basically signed a whole starting lineup. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And seeing Saquon go to the Eagles, that offense is gonna be deadly now to go with Jalen Hurts in the run game. So that should be interesting. Should be interesting. We'll see. Moving on to the NBA though, NBA quick check-in. I just want to talk about my Nuggets, man. We on fire right now. 10-1 coming out of the All-Star break. We went in a little shaky, just playing with the third and fourth seed, kind of going back and forth with two, flirting with one, but not really being able to take it there. But ever since Karl-Anthony Towns got hurt, and OKC kind of had to face a little bit more tough competition towards the end of their schedule. The Nuggets were able to make moves. Jokić is on another level recently playing against, it's a lowly team, but they tried their hardest to beat us, Toronto, who were down by 22. And in the midst of that comeback, Jokić went for 35, 17, 12, and 6 blocks. Something that's never been done before, adding to the list of crazy-ass accolades you can put on this man. I don't want to say I told you so, but I can say it in the most humble way. I told you so. It's nuts, bro. Like I've watched it from day one. If you know me, I'm from the Carmelo Anthony days of Denver Nuggets, and once he left the Knicks, I could not make that jump. I stayed with the Nuggets, and we've been through our ups and downs of players, the Ty Lawsons of the world, Aaron Aflalos, Andre Iguodala's, the Chauncey Billups, the Nenes, all these people, the Kenneth Farieds, like all these people that were supposed to be the next thing. But second round Jokić and Jamal Murray, he was high pick though, number 7 pick coming out of Kentucky. But Nobody ever knew that amidst that Melo trade, what we would get back in that trade would be Jamal Murray and Carmelo Anthony, Nikola Jokic, and for him to just take number 15. I don't know if it's a conspiracy out there. Melo feels that the franchise gave him number 15 to erase Melo's legacy. But I mean, hey, it happened. It kind of did happen in Denver, anyways. I'm a Melo fan to the fullest, but this man right here, Nikola Jokic, I think he might be jumping my Melo poll just for the fact. Pause, by the way, the as far as my favorite player, because just the stuff that he's able to do for the team, the way he makes other people better, the way he adds to the win total. You know what I'm saying? Melo is good, and we won games with him, but we don't have to rely on him having a good game in order for us to win. We could use his other attributes, which is finding other men and having so much of an IQ like in basketball to make the right play and get the ball where it needs to be, make the right play at the right time for us to win games. Even if we're down by 22, no matter how many points we're down, there's always a chance that we'll come back if we have Jokic on the court. You know what I'm saying? Even if he's on the bench, I think him being in the game inspires other players to play better. Just knowing that Jokic gives his all and does so much for the team and inspires those people to be better. So I think that's why we're on a 10-1 run right now after the All-Star break. At first, when Jokic first got there, he was kind of quiet, kind of like an introvert, didn't really speak to the team. He was kind of resistant to being a leader. But now, after the MVPs, after the championship, he actually texted the team after All-Star break, letting them know like it's time to put it. I don't know exactly what it was. They didn't really divulge the exact words, but it came out to being something of the nature of it's time. We won the championship last year. We know what the second half of the season is about. We're about to turn it in gear. We're about to go. We know what to do type shit. And 10-1. We lost to the Suns in overtime. And that's the only game we lost coming out of the All-Star break. You know what I mean? And it was overtime. We were down big in that game too. I think we were down like 17, and we came back, took it to overtime, and then KD just took over in the fourth quarter. We have a switch that we can turn on. Me personally, I don't really go out there. Even last year, you can ask any of my friends, anybody that knows me as a Nuggets fan. I didn't go into any round thinking we're gonna smash, demolish anybody. Just we're gonna whoop anybody. My predictions of how each round of the playoffs went, I was not expecting that at all. From round one, I was nervous. Just the Minnesota Timberwolves matchup, I was nervous about. But just seeing how my team played and how we're playing now gave me a lot of confidence and gives me the confidence to say that we can literally play with anybody. Sometimes we can have bad games, but I feel like it's because of lack of effort and we have off games. Like they put us against any good team in the NBA. This season we beat them once or even swept the series playing with them. You know what I mean? And if we lost the game, it's because either on a back-to-back or somebody wasn't playing for us or somebody was hurt. At full strength, it's been really hard to beat the Nuggets. And even if they did have us at one point, you see us coming. We can come back in the fourth quarter. If we lose the game, it'll be in the last second of the fourth quarter. You're not going to whoop us in a 7-game series. You're not going to do that. You might get 1 or 2 games out of us. But I feel like all in all, that's all it's going to take for Coach Malone, Michael Malone. Let me get that right. He's a smart ass coach, though. Some might not like him. He's smart as fuck as far as it goes to timeouts, rotations, players. Whether it's Tim Connolly or now it's my guy. Oh my God, I'm blanking on our GM's name. I'm going to come back to it because this is his second year. First year came in, won the championship with a little tinkering. This year, drafting the players he did, players that played 4 or 3 years in high or in college, kind of veteran guys that can step in and add to the team right away. It's just kind of genius. I just feel like our team is made for the playoffs. A lot of teams you see out there are really top heavy. Really good 5 starters. You have teams like the Celtics that their top 5 players can beat anybody, but when it comes to the bench and rotation time, can they really get it done? Do they have the selfless players to be able to come out and do what you need to do to win a championship? I don't know. I don't think the Celtics have that. And when it comes to Giannis and the Bucks, I mean, again, you have Giannis and you have Dame, but after that, who's going to take you to the finish line in 7 games? I think we're battle tested at the right time to be able to go back to back. I'm not calling we're gonna go back to back because it's a tough ass thing to do. Ask Patrick Mahomes and their Chiefs. They just did it. But holla at us, let us know if we can have any secrets to success because we need to win that. You know what I mean? I am really happy about this, especially coming off of football, not expecting to make the second round of the playoffs and getting as far as we did, getting so close to maybe the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. I feel like after winning last year, we're the hunted in this season, and we could actually win the championship, and we're the people expected to be in the championship. So let's hold it down and get there, and let's see if we can get another parade going in Denver. Parades right now are kind of like after the shooting in Kansas City. Prayers out to those families, but let's get back to celebrating and celebrating in peace. You know what I mean? But other teams in the West, I like to check in with the West. Lakers ninth place, Warriors 10th place, still kind of going back and forth, trying to figure out what they're gonna do, if they're gonna make the play in or if they're gonna solidify themselves in the 6 and 7 seed or 6 and 5 seeds. 7 seed still has to play in the play in and win one game at least to secure that 7 seed. But right now, like again, Lakers are in ninth. LeBron sitting out some games with that ankle. They're losing to the Kings. I mean, not being able to beat the Kings is something that's gonna nag the Lakers. 0-10 against the Lakers in the last 10 games. Excuse me. Sacramento. They're 0-10 against Sacramento. AD's having a great season, but when it comes to Jokić and Sabonis, he's not able to get it done, and the team kind of flounders. So hopefully the Lakers don't see the Kings in the play-in, because I think the Kings are, I don't know what, the Kings may be the 6th seed. So. But Timberwolves are the 3 seed, and they're kind of falling due to, again, Karl-Anthony Towns tearing his meniscus. I don't know if he's going to come back anytime soon. May make it back for the playoffs, but having only Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, I don't think that's going to necessarily work the best in the playoffs to get it done in 7 games against maybe somebody like the Lakers or the Warriors if they make it. Anybody down there. We have the Mavericks at the 8 seed right now, Suns at 7 seed. I don't know if Karl-Anthony Towns list Minnesota team would beat those teams in the first round. So I don't know about them. OKC is kind of falling at this moment. Again, they're the young team that made that race to be the number 1 seed, playing hard every game in the playoffs. I mean, in the regular season, and then now it's kind of like biting them in the ass. They're losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to. They're probably getting tired. Those legs are probably getting weak now. It's like only a month left until the playoffs, so you don't want to get into the playoffs limping into it. Somebody hurt or your whole team being gassed out after having the number 1 seed. So we're seeing them kind of having a harder schedule towards the end. We'll see where they end up. But you know what I'm saying? They fell out of first. They were a half a game in first place now, and they own the tiebreaker over us too. So they are really down bad at this moment for us to be in first and them to be falling to second. So we'll see how they do. I think they play the Mavericks tonight, and the Mavericks are surging right now. PJ, Kyrie, they got Gafford. They have a team, man. It seems like the Mavericks finally have a nice little roster together, lively, coming alive. So no pun intended, but we'll see what they do. But the play-in right now, as it stands in the West, is the Suns, Mavs, Lakers, and the Warriors. So that'll be a crazy-ass play-in to see who gets those 7 and 8 seeds. But we'll see. East, already know what's going on in the East. The Celtics are hella far ahead of everybody else. Then you have, I believe, I don't think it's the Cavaliers anymore. I would say it's the Bucks at this point. And then probably, I'm going to say Cavaliers, and then probably the Knicks. I'm just guessing, but it just seems it's kind of obvious by the teams. You can just think of the teams and just go down the list. Who do you think is the best in the East? And then if you think about it, it'd probably be those teams. I know it's kind of fucking selfish of me. Again, I say I only really check in with the West because I'm a West guy, and I feel like the Western Conference team is going to win the championship anyways, unless it's not the Nuggets. I think anybody else that the Celtics play in the championship, they can probably give a hard time. But if they play the Nuggets, we've been proven to see, to show we have what it takes to beat the Celtics. I think we beat them both the times we played them this year. But it's not about us right now. I'm trying to talk about the East. But Embiid is coming back. So I think the playoffs more so is going to be interesting for the Eastern Conference because the seeds really don't matter. I think any team in the East can beat any team in the East. And, the Heat are going to beat everybody too. Even though they may not be a high seed, they could be one of the top 4 seeds if I'm not mistaken. Again, I don't really follow the East that much. But I know the teams, but I don't follow the standings because you already know the superior teams again anyways. But more into sports before I get into some of this pop culture. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix. I think it's going to be July 20th. Me personally, I'm going to take my hat off a little bit. I'm going to tip my cap to Jake Paul and Logan Paul because they are just getting sponsored and promoted by everybody doing the best job in the world of keeping themselves going career-wise. Logan Paul out here getting prime sponsored by major athletes. Now it's the official partner of the LA Lakers. How they do that? I don't know. How'd you get Mike Tyson a Mike Tyson fight on Netflix? I don't know. I thought Jake Paul ran out of gas and the whole hype about it ran out of gas, but I guess not. Mike Tyson's gonna fight him. Mike Tyson at 57 years old is gonna pick the gloves up and fight against Jake Paul. Jake Paul 9-1 in his fighting record, 6 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? 9-1, but that one did come against Tommy Fury, which was a semi-professional boxer. You know what I'm saying? He's professional, but he kind of lower ranked professional boxer. But you're going in there against Mike Tyson. Oh. Excuse me, headphones. You're going in there against Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson ain't going. I don't know, man. I don't think he's gonna take a fall like everybody else has been taking a fall. I know that may be sounding like hate. I know that might sound like hate, but for real, I don't know. Mike Tyson might be the wrong one to go out there and try to act like he can box against. I mean, if you guys have something written in the agreement where Mike Tyson can't punch you in the face and he can't knock you out, he's just rough you up a little, and it comes down to a decision, I get it. Or to a draw, I get it. But for us to believe you're gonna go in there, Jake Paul, and do anything against a 57-year-old Mike Tyson, I don't care how old Mike Tyson is. You seen that boy sparring, those body blows. I don't think you can handle one of those, bro. I don't. I know you was boxing against MMA fighters and stuff. I know they hit hard too, but Mike Tyson's another monster. Mike Tyson's last fight was against what? Roy Jones. I don't think it's gonna be good though. I think having it on Netflix is genius. I don't know how the payout's gonna be. It better not be no extra fee on Netflix because I got Netflix. Maybe that'll help get Netflix subscriptions or something. But big ups to Jake Paul and Logan Paul. A lot of people hate on them, but hey man, I respect the hell out of Jake Paul for continuing to box and continuing to find fights and you know, get some fights under his belt. Who knows? May go professional. Again, and I look up to him also personally because I was always the one that said, if you're gonna do anything like this, you're gonna box and it's not gonna be for real. At least put other boxers on and give them ways to make money and put them on the map too. Because I think, excuse me if I don't say her name right, Amanda Serrano is one of the fighters. I know there's a female fighter that fights under him, that is amazing. And a little homie Ash from excuse me, Euphoria. He's also a professional fighter, sponsored by Jordan, has his own shoe by Jordan too. So he's putting people on the map, and I love what he's doing for the sport. Though people may hate on it, man, it's just bringing a light and it's giving people opportunity to make money. It's giving people opportunity to entertain. Entertainment. I mean, I know though it may be distracting at times, I think that's the best form of I don't know, of release at time. The world is stressful, bro. Sometimes we need to be entertained, and nothing's wrong with people watching people. It's a sport, you know. People love sports. Let Jake Paul go out there, and everybody loves Mike Tyson as well. And I appreciate Mike Tyson for doing what he's doing as well, staying relevant, staying in the boxing world, you know, putting his stamps. To me, Mike Tyson in the boxing world is kind of taking the form of like The Rock, how he is when wrestling and football and arena football and or not arena football, excuse me, the USFL and stuff like that. Like Mike Tyson, just to have his hands in the pot of everything that's going on in boxing, to be involved in everything, to be kind of like a commissioner, not like commissioner of boxing, but just like one of the figureheads of boxing. And just keep being able to make money and keep being able to be a figure because he did go through a lot through his career as far as being painted in a negative light. So to see him reformed and reborn into this guy who is helping, you know, just helping other people make their way into boxing, not only help Jake Paul crossover, just like bringing other attention to boxing, making it less super serious. If Mike Tyson can be involved, maybe other people can be involved, professionals can be involved, and not to be too embarrassed by the social media people going on doing boxing matches and people being afraid of it not being as real and being as official. And maybe the boxer stepping down and not really being who he once was by taking these little money grabs. Nah, fuck that, man. Do what you got to do because this corporation, these sports, they don't care about you. They'll throw you to the side in a second. So go ahead and make your money. Forget about the sanctity of the sport, of the game, when it comes down to you getting some money and doing some shit that may take away from the major sport like boxing. You know, you got to promote, you got to, you know, do crazy ass shit to make money, to make people be interested in fighting, because you have MMA, you have other shit that in combat sports that brings attention. So how are you going to differentiate yourself? You can't kick nobody, you know. It's like not as super violent. The promotion and the out of the ring stuff is what makes it, and the entertainment of it. So to have Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, don't make everybody watch the boxing match, man. The undercards are probably gonna be amazing as well. Shout out Netflix, shout out Jake Paul, shout out Logan Paul, shout out Mike Tyson. Let's get some money. Holla at me. I'll be down with Prime. I'll be down with y'all as well. If y'all want to holla at the Best of Bias podcast, I'm down, y'all. This Red Bull is kicking my ass right now. But moving into pop culture, y'all might not care about this, but I talked about this topic, man, a little bit ago, and I want to get the ladies out there back involved because we talked about Draya and Jalen Green's relationship. We said, was it predatory? Was it weird for a 39-year-old to be dating a 22-year-old? Is that kind of weird, especially her being around, like, forget about her past. Nobody cares if she's been with athletes and entertainers before. And this young man is making millions and millions of dollars. It seems kind of weird in that aspect. It seems kind of gold diggery, not putting labels on it, but that's what it seems like. Who knows if they're going to stay together? But now they're actually having a baby together, what makes it a little even more weird. I was, because I kind of feel like we came and went from that. No, no, no pun intended at all. We came and went with that topic. We talked about it a little bit. I think me and AKA or somebody else, maybe Chelsea was on here too. We were talking about it. Was it predatory? Did it seem predatory? If this happened to a guy, it would be talked about like Leonardo DiCaprio, and who else? Was it Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, somebody that was having a baby with a girl that was like half their age. When it's those guys, it's kind of looked at as creepy, predatory. How could they type of thing? They kind of try to hide it because society would kind of deem it as something. But when it comes out to be this situation where Drea is having a baby with Jalen Green, it's kind of swept under the rug, and girls really don't say anything about it the same way. Well, I say girls because women, because guys on the other hand would say, oh, wouldn't really say much to Leonardo DiCaprio, Al Pacino having babies with young women. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Where do we draw the line at? Like, what do you think his mother thinks of this situation? Like, having a kid with somebody that could be his mother's age. That's probably his mother's age. It's kind of wild, right? I wish I had somebody else to expound on it with me, but I mean, hey, happiness is happiness. I mean, I don't judge when it comes to those kind of things as long as they're of age at the time that they're together. You know what I'm saying? I really don't look at it as weird, but when different factors come into it, when people have reputations and who knows? Who knows what's gonna come of this? You know what I'm saying? They're young, they're not married. Jalen Green's are really young. You know how those basketball players be. So all it's gonna take, one late night in Charlotte, Drea's knocked up. I don't know, man. I hope it's not gonna be something terrible. And I hate to have that intuition based off a baby being born, but it just seems like it's just turning. I hate to talk negatively like that on something so precious as a baby being born, but god damn, that's weird. It's really weird. You know what I mean? I think it's the same thing with the freaking Jalen Brown's girl and him and his girl. The girl he's dating is like 43 and he's like 25. Hey, get it how you live. Like, I feel it. I get it how you live. I think her name was Bernice Burgos, if I'm not mistaken. Get it how you live. Like I said, love is love. And love is love. But Jesus Christ, be careful, my guys. And women be careful as well. Like, I'm not even gonna keep it and be hella biased and be like on the guy's side, like they're gold digging him. But women also know, and they do know obviously because they've dated professionals and athletes and celebrities before. That's a tough, tough, tough situation. And bringing babies into the world with a guy so young. Prayers out. Prayers out. Go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know a little something how y'all feel about Drea Michelle and Jalen Green having a baby. 22 and 39 years old. Hey, as long as they're healthy enough to be able to take care of the baby, I'm all good with it. As long as they're stable enough and everything, but Jesus Christ Almighty, that's gonna be wild. What we got next on the docket, man? What we got next on the docket? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. What we got? What we got for this one for sure? You guys, I gotta do dual cameras for show, dual cameras for show. Um, this one's close to my heart, really close to my heart because you know me. Get the dual cameras going. I am a super, super huge anime guy. I'm really, really mourning right now. Akira Toriyama passed away at 68 years old. He's the creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, the creator of the manga. which was developed into an insane TV show, insane cartoon, insane video game. As you can see, probably behind me, there's a whole bunch of Funko Pops dedicated to the anime itself. Man, I appreciate him. I want to say rest in peace, because without Dragon Ball Z, man, it would have never opened my eyes to what anime could truly be. Anime and just character development and just this time it just we had Superman, we had Batman, we had all that kind of stuff, but to have it on this level, to have this kind of storytelling, to have this kind of power instilled into a character so unassuming that we saw grow up from a child to be this super god, unbeatable character. There's debates all over the place. Who can beat Goku in anime? Anime is nuts. If you watch anime, we have anime Naruto, we have One Piece, we have One Punch Man, we have all kind of crazy shit. If I didn't say yo anime, don't hate me for that. But we have all kind of anime you can think of, but we can't think of one that can whoop Goku. Not one that can whoop Goku. That's the Superman of anime. So man, started in 1982, sold millions of manga copies, which made it develop into a crazy show, a whole bunch of movies, a fanatic fan base. I can honestly say, without Dragon Ball Z, we wouldn't have the Comic Cons we have today. We wouldn't have half the stuff we have today when it comes to anime. It gave way to creators. Netflix, you owe Akira some money. You owe Akira some money because without him, that whole anime section y'all have that y'all add in anime every day, that would not exist, bro. I know I'm putting a lot on it, but if you put you got to put Dragon Ball Z, then you got to put Pokemon, like two things that my childhood that changed me forever. You know what I mean? Like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. Like Trunks to this day is my favorite character. I'm not gonna front. I try to get everything Trunks related. I got a whole bunch of Trunks Funko Pops. He's my favorite character. Gotenks as well. Him and Goten fuse. Y'all already know what's going on. It's just wild. It's just really wild to me for him to have passed. There's plenty more ideas he said he was working on. Plenty ideas, plenty stories, plenty characters. Hopefully, his works were able to get finished, or some of the finished that works that he did have finished were able to be published. That way, we could actually still see those because we've seen it all: Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and we've seen all the movies. So there's definitely more. We've seen all these characters grow up. We've seen the storylines expand. Like we've seen Gohan go from a kid to a grown up. We've seen Goku, of course, go from a kid to a grown up. We've seen Piccolo go from a bad guy to a beloved character. Like all the characters, man, the androids, the moms, like all the girlfriends that gave way to the other characters, the Gohans, the Trunks, the Gotens, oh my gosh, Chi Bulma, all you guys. I'm shouting out characters now. Krillin, of course, the lovable friend, the bald head lovable friend. You know what I'm saying? That everybody, I feel like a whole bunch of animes just manga alone. Just like let me just give it all to anime because he wrote the books, you know what I'm saying? So the books themselves, they started off, to create shit like this. And the adaptation from those manga, I should say, we should accredit it all to him. Again, I might be putting a lot on it, but that's where I'm coming from. If you could see from behind me, you see I got a bunch of different anime up there, you know what I'm saying? So I don't only rock with Dragon Ball Z, but once I started collecting, Dragon Ball Z was definitely the first I copped. Autographs, you can see them back there. I got all the autographs. I got Goku autographed. I got Broly autographed. I got Gohan autographed. I don't think I got Vegeta autographed, but I do got Trunks autographed right up there. Like, bro, it's not a game with me. You see right here, the statues, like, man, RIP definitely to Akira Toriyama. Yeah. Again, I can't say enough to the contributions and stuff to my life you've made. And sad to see him go at 68. I think it was a blood clot in his brain. I'm sorry to go into those kind of morbid details, but man, RIP him. And yeah, he was the man. He was the man. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that. I know it was kind of like last week when it happened, but I had to get that out and get that out there. RIP to a great man. We're losing a lot of people recently. So also in music, let me get to it. Four Bats signs to OVO for an LP deal. If you know who Four Bats is, 8 a.m. This song is what I really listen to. It's been popping. I think that's part of his like 3-song act that he has out. It's like 3 or 4 songs he has out. And 8 a.m. is his third song or second song on that act. What he calls his little song is calls them acts. So that's the one that got really popular. Recently he did a version with Drake, a remix drop. So based on that remix, and them working together, it kind of developed into a friendship, into a relationship. So I feel like they're doing a LP. That's what it is for now. He's not going to say he's signing with OVO. He said he's signing for an LP deal, which is probably something like it's going to be him and Drake on there. He's going to loan his writing and he's going to loan his maybe some of his producers and they're gonna do a little project together, maybe 4 or 5 songs, and then after that they'll see where it goes from there. But I would hate for him to fall into a situation like I Love McConan or The Weeknd, Party Next Door, or any of his other artists, Baka 99. So well, these guys Baka's his friend, so I wouldn't really say he didn't help him out. But the Party Next Door situation, I think maybe Party Next Door is more so of a writer, and he's not really interested in doing music as much as Drake is. Maybe they want to be in the forefront of the spotlight. But The Weeknd, I don't think they're vibing anymore. I don't think they're friends anymore. And I think I Love McConan fell out with Drake and them as well. They're not friends anymore either. So it's just interesting to see sometimes when Drake signs people and gets his hands on people, because sometimes he kind of just uses them and abuses them. And then he'll be with them 1 second, do a couple songs with them 1 second, make them hot, and then bounce out, and they'll just fizzle out after he kind of signs with them or the co-sign leaves. Or I mean, this could be an artist that gets that staying power after he gets that Drake co-sign and just kind of does his thing. But this artist, I do see similarities when it comes to like the song structures, the kind of beats, the melodies and stuff like that. I'm not too fond of the switch up in the actual remix at 8 a.m., but I know probably together him and Drake can make some great music together. Yeah, especially with 40 getting in the studio, the type of beats and the lyrics and the harmonies that Drake can come up with if they collab. I think some good stuff can come out of there. So I'm interested to see when they do that and what comes out of it. But again, I'm just hopeful that it doesn't turn into some crazy shit like it did with other artists that either signed with him or had a song with them and weren't able to turn it into a stabilizing career, because I kind of do like Forbats. And I'm always interested in people who come up on their own and actually get notoriety from being themselves and don't really need the labels and stuff to push their shit to get it out. Sometimes you can come through organically through social media. I guess it's not really organically, but if you come through social media and kind of make your own name and don't need to be pushed super hard by the company, sometimes people kind of find you, latch on to you, use you for what you got, and then you're kind of fucked at the end of the day. So hopefully this partnership can get him a quick little bag, and he's able to elevate his music and his career the way he wants to, either independently or he actually signs with an actual major. So we'll see. But shouts out Forbats for that collaboration. Oscars, real quick. The Oscars came on Monday night, I believe. I think it did come back after we landed from Vegas. So yeah, that was cool. I didn't really watch the whole thing. I watched the opening monologues, but I just wanted to, let y'all know who won uh, the categories here. Starting with the Best Actor. Best Actor, Cillian Murphy won for Oppenheimer. Best Actress, Emma Stone won for Poor Thing. Best Picture, Oppenheimer won that. Best Supporting Actor, Robert Downey Jr. won for Oppenheimer. Best Supporting Actress, Divine Joy Randolph won for Holdovers. Best Director, Chris Nolan won for Oppenheimer. Best Animated Film, The Boy and the Heron won. And this one was a big controversy because Across the Spider-Verse, and everybody there thought that they should win. I did too, man, because that was a masterpiece. My bias, but aside superheroes and stuff like that. But yeah, that shit was amazing. Each scene, each character had their own art. Like the shit changed throughout. It was a masterpiece. Took years for the animators to do. I haven't seen The Boy and the Heron at all, but it's coming back to theaters. Maybe I will go check it out if it's that dope. It's dope enough to beat Across the Spider-Verse for best animated movie. But Across the Spider-Verse was nuts, yo. And I mean, what else they have to do, man? Beyond the Spider-Verse has to go even higher, even better, and hope something crazy that's stupid doesn't come out. I can't call it stupid. That's fucked up. I got to check it out before I call it stupid. But that's fucked up, man. I saw Shamik Moore write on his Twitter, or write on his Instagram, maybe that they got robbed, and I think they did get robbed. That I don't know, man. I don't know if there's anybody that can sit through that movie and say that animated wise, that movie wasn't the best thing that they ever seen animated wise. The lengths that they went, the technology and the difference that I don't know, man. I have to see that Boy and the Heron and even just contemplate how that could be better. But that was the Oscars. You know me, I'm not really into Oscars that much because I don't really, you know, cinematics and stuff. I don't really go into depths of the shots and stuff like that. But as far as the movie in general, as far as animated movie, anybody that's surface level like me could have known that. But shouts out to them, and hopefully Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, it's even better than ever. Just show them, just show them, just show 'em. Cinema Corner, I did see Dune 2. I don't know if I talked to you guys about that. I saw it at IMAX. Um, it was cool. Me personally, I didn't see Dune 1 right away, right before seeing Dune 2. So I kind of fucked myself that way because I was hella confused once Dune 2 started after 45 minutes of fucking previews. By the way, AMC, you got to change that because I'm not gonna sit through 30 minutes of previews and then have to watch a 3 hour movie. First and foremost, I'm not trying to sit in the movies all day. I love the movies. I love you, but God damn, if I don't got the recliner seats and I'm sitting in straight up and down IMAX seats, I can't sit there for 4 hours. That aside, Timothy Chalamet did his thing, man. Not exactly, again, not knowing exactly what happened right away. I did see Dune 1 a long time ago, but I did myself a disservice by not seeing Dune 1 right away and then watching Dune 2. But remembering what I did remember and being the guy that I am as far as watching movies and kind of just catch on and try to figure it out as I go, I can't say cinematically was nuts. Sound crazy, visuals crazy. You can really see how everybody says that every kind of popular sci-fi movie right now kind of took from the Dune books and the original Dune movie to kind of do what they do now in these movies. So I can really see that, man. They went for it. The sandworms were nuts. Seeing Timothy Chalamet portray this character, I forgot the name. They're using some really Arabic names in this. But basically, if you guys saw the first one, I guess he was juggling with if he was a god of the Furman. In this movie, they kind of like show his trials with the Furman. They kind of adopted him out there in the sands. He's trying to learn the ways of the sand people, and throughout the journey, he's being attacked by the space people. I forgot the Harkonnens. They're coming out of space. They want to eradicate the Furman because they're messing up the spice trade and stopping the spice trade, and everybody needs spice for I think space travel or some shit like that. Or is that that's this, right? Because they have spice in Star Wars too, so kind of get confused. But I think they need spice for safe space travel, and like they use it for drugs and stuff like that. But the Furmen are living in the sands where the spice is, and they're kind of protecting it. They're using it for themselves. They live. It's crazy, the Furmen too, because they don't. The water they use, they live off and recycle from dead people. And they be like, oh yeah, don't cry, don't spit, don't throw up because you're wasting water. We out here, we got to use recycled water and all this shit like that. Some crazy ass religion. All the water that they store in their place, they take the blood or take the water from their dead people, throw it in this like this pond, and hope that these dead people water that's from these dead people can one day turn the sand into a green pasture again, and they won't have to live in the sands or something like that. And they thought that Timothy Chalamet's character is going to be the guy to bring the prophecy about and bring the water back to the Furman, to the desert planet. And throughout this whole time, he's fighting with the Harkonnen, and the Harkonnen are trying to kill all the Furman and kill him and kill his mom. It's just a crazy ass sci-fi war throughout. And at the same time, his mom is pregnant and it becomes this heretic or this very religious person that can see the future, and tells him that he's part Harkonnen, and it becomes hella convoluted. But if you saw the movie, you saw how dope it was. If you saw number one, the second part was a great continuation. Star-studded cast: David Bautista, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya. We had Christopher Walken. We had my girl Florence Pugh. We had a bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of people in. The cast was nuts. The first cast was nuts. We had Oscar Isaac, a whole bunch of other people that were in the first one that I didn't even know, that I forgot about as well. I should have watched the first one, but it was visually amazing. If you're down to watch a 2 hour and 45 minute movie with actually 4 hours, 45 minutes of previews, And if you're into this kind of sci-fi movie, go check it out. I thought it was good. A lot of people think it's great, like one of the best movies of the year so far. So I advise you go check it out and be a judge for yourself. You want to watch the first one? I think the first one is on Max. Go watch it on Max first. That's another 3 hour movie. Watch that and then go see Dune 2. I think you'll be relatively impressed with it. It was a good movie. I also saw a movie on Amazon. You guys should check it out. Ricky Sn- Ricky Snicki. Damn, say it 7 times fast. But it's called Ricky Snicki. John Cena. Who else is in it? Zac Efron. You have I forgot his name. Dude from Dave, the orange haired manager. And this other dude, but basically they're four friends who always go out partying, doing a hella shit, but they have hella responsibilities and families and shit. But when they were kids, they would get in hella trouble, and they would make up a name for of this kid who always did the stuff that they got in trouble for, but he didn't exist, and they called him Ricky Snicki, and then eventually they grow up and have families and they keep on using the Ricky Snicki name to get them out of trouble. They want to go to a concert. They want to go gamble at a casino. They say Ricky Snicki needs them somewhere. He's doing this kind of like charity event. We're going out there to meet him type shit. But he doesn't exist. So till one day, one of the dudes, his wife gets pregnant. They're supposed to be at the baby shower, but they want to go do something in Atlantic City, go gamble. So they go to Atlantic City, but then all of a sudden his wife actually has the baby 6 weeks early. So he has to rush back to the rush to the baby shower or to the hospital, and they have to make up this reason why they were late to the baby's birth now. And while they're in Atlantic City, they meet John Cena, who is this crazy ass actor, this wannabe actor. And after they get in trouble for missing the baby's birth, they make up Ricky Snicki, have him come from Atlantic City to act like Ricky Snicki. And all these stories that they ever told about him, all the lies that they made up, he had to remember and recollect for the families just so they wouldn't get in trouble about the lies they've been telling for hella long. And a lot of funny stuff and shenanigans happens throughout. John Cena's hilarious and the movie's pretty funny. I would check it out on some Prime right now. It's in your phones, tablets, wherever you watch your apps. Check that shit out. Amazon, you can sponsor me if you want to as well. But it's a good movie. Check it out. And also, I've been watching The Gentleman on Netflix. It's been highly recommended, and it's the #1 TV show on Netflix right now. I think it's a play on the movie The Gentleman, if you've seen that. I've seen it a long time ago, but I don't exactly remember what that was about. But in the show, it's about this rich family in England, of course. The dad dies, and this one of the sons takes over as the Duke of their manor. It's this high ass royalty this position. But then he finds out that his family is nuts and they have a whole bunch of shit going on behind the scenes, and they get into a whole bunch of shenanigans throughout. And they find out that their dad has a partnership with a guy that has a weed farm on their property, and based on that, a whole bunch of shenanigans starts to happen. I mean, I don't want to give it away because it is fresh. I would review the whole thing, but I'm only on episode 7. I try to get to the end of the episode for y'all, but you already know what it is. But hey, check it out for yourself. It's on Netflix right now. It's the #1 show right now. It's a Guy Ritchie, I think, was the director. It's cool, man. It's very interesting, really interactive. You can watch it with your girl. If your girl's not into it, you can watch it for yourself. If your husband's not into it, you can watch it for yourself. It's definitely something you can watch along, but I know some of you guys have that significant other that's like, oh shit, I don't like these type of shows, or I don't like the type of shows that you like. But I think this one, if you guys sat down and watched it together, is something that you guys can both enjoy. First couple episodes, about an hour and a half. Other just 8 episodes. It makes 8 episodes seem like 100 episodes just for the pacing and how shit happens. But I think you'll like it, man. I put it up there on the level of the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's kind of that ilk, you know what I mean? But I think that's all I got for y'all today, man. How about that? How was that for a return episode? Episode 200. We're getting there, man. I know it's supposed to be a little bit more special when we got to 200, but I'll have something a little bit more special planned for 300 or maybe 500. That's going to be the super shebang, but that's way ahead of the time. But maybe I will do something special for 300 because we didn't get to really do something or get no guests on for 200. But AKA wanted to do that tournament. I haven't got him here to do that tournament yet, but maybe I'll get Damo. Well, Damo's going to be a little hard to get because he got the wedding coming up in a couple of weeks and the honeymoon and all that. But we'll have some guests for you. I promise. I promise we'll have some guests soon. More content coming soon. And I will not leave you guys without a little notice next time that I'm not going to be here. I think I might have tried to squeeze something in Monday or Tuesday for you guys, get something recorded and throw it out for you guys to chew on when I was at the bachelor party, but I didn't end up doing it. But I do apologize. I will be here next week. And it's Friday, man. How about that? I got this out on a Friday for y'all. So, yeah. This is the end of the podcast where I'd like to let them know where they can find me at. It's SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat, Best of Bias on the podcast, anywhere else, Best of Bias. You can find us on the YouTube, of course. AKA, thank you again for doing all these videos, man. Again, I'm gonna stop putting so much pressure on you. I'm still gonna try to expand the team. I'm looking for people to do all kinds of things within the Best of Bias podcast. You know what I'm saying? I can give y'all a little something. I ain't got the most money in the world, but if you do want to be a part of the team, holla at me, DM me, hit me in the comments or wherever you can find me. You can find the podcast. You already know wherever you find your favorite podcast, Spotify, Google Play. What else is there? Apple Podcasts. Anchor is Spotify now, but just click Best of Bias Podcast and you'll see Growly and you know what to do. And you hear your boy's voice. And yeah. Shout out to Shahani and Damon again for their matrimonials. It's gonna be a party time soon. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to be there and be a part of it. And everybody, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all. Where that theme song at, and come back next week. Episode 200 in the books. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. It's your boy. Yeah.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. Best of bias, yeah. It's the best of bias.